Hi, Bristol. Fred Dekker here from Los Angeles. I'm here to introduce my first feature film to you. Um, I started as a movie buff pretty early on. I remember when I was really young setting the alarm clock for 3 a.m. so I could get up and watch the original King Kong, the 1933 version on TV. Obviously, this was before streaming and Blu-rays and all the other ways that we look at movies. So I was devoted, even at that age. And the movie that really knocked me out, that made me want to be a filmmaker, was Jaws. So from there on, I was making short films, Super 8 movies, this sort of pre-digital video, and I started writing, and I went to UCLA as an English major because the film school rejected me. It was fine though, because there was a whole bunch of people there at that time that I was friends with who we all had the same interest. We wanted to be directors or writers or actors. Shane Black was there, and Ed Solomon and Chris Matheson and Tim Robbins and Mariska Hargitay, and it was very fertile and it was really great. So I said, okay, I need to write scripts and then I need to make a short film so that I can show people that I can direct. So the script that I wrote was a short film about a Vietnam vet who inherits his dead aunt's house and lives there and finds out that it's actually haunted, or is he haunted? And but I ended up writing the short film, but never making it longer than that. And my roommate at the time, Ethan Wiley, said, "Hey, can I write that as a feature film?" I said, "Yeah, just give me story credit." And he wrote it. He called it House. Steve Miner wanted to direct it, and so now I had a credit in an actual movie, which was kind of exciting. So now I needed my short film, and I had this idea for these two college nerds. And one of them has a crush on a girl, and I thought, well, what if they use time travel so that he can get the girl? And I actually wrote it, and I started to film it in 16 millimeter, and did a couple of scenes, and they turned out pretty well, and that ended up to be my show reel. When I had a feature script to show that I could direct, I showed that film, even though it was incomplete. As for the script that I wrote, I said to myself, well, what if I take the two college nerds and one of them has a crush on the girl, and instead of time travel, I have space slugs who use The Walking Dead to incubate. So a shift there, clearly a shift in gears. But I love genre movies. I love, there's a whole bunch of directors whose work I admire, who I've named characters in the movie after. And the script became kind of a hobo stew of just like, let's put this in, let's put that in. But what I've learned in the years since the movie is that I kind of hit pay dirt by accident in terms of the tone, because tone is always really important in movies, and particularly in a horror comedy, because sometimes it's real funny but it's not scary, or sometimes it's scary and not particularly funny. For me, the best horror comedy ever is An American Werewolf in London, because it has both, but it's also really grounded. And to that end, I want you to keep an eye on Tom Atkins in this movie, who was kind of the gift that I was given in casting this, because he, to me, is kind of the soul and the heart of the movie. Because he's not a guy who's saying funny lines to be funny. He's amusing himself because he's so fucking depressed, because of this horrible thing that happened in his past and because of the life he's led. And I want you to, if you will, pay attention to my proudest scene in the movie, maybe the proudest scene in my career, is the scene where the Tom Atkins character explains what happened and sort of turned him into the guy he is. Anyway, that's all I got for you now. I hope you enjoy Night of the Creeps.